Hi everyone, how's it going tonight? I'm so glad to be here, sharing some laughs with all of you. As I was thinking about what to talk about tonight, the concept of comedy of errors really stuck out to me. You know, those moments in life when everything seems to go wrong, and you're left feeling embarrassed or frustrated. But the thing is, even though these moments can be tough to endure in the moment, they're often hilarious in hindsight. And I think that's part of what makes life so amusing. The fact that we're all just stumbling through it, making mistakes and having a good laugh at ourselves along the way. So tonight, I want to share with you some of my own personal comedy of errors. The moments in my life when everything seemed to go awry, but I was able to laugh it off in the end. One of the most memorable moments of comedy of errors in my life occurred at the grocery store. I was running errands on a busy Saturday morning, and I had a list of items I needed to pick up. I was feeling pretty good about myself, checking things off my list and navigating the crowded aisles with ease. But then, as I was reaching for a carton of eggs, disaster struck. My hand brushed against a pyramid of canned tomatoes, and before I knew it, they were all rolling across the floor, making this loud clattering noise as they went. It was like a scene straight out of a slapstick comedy. I half expected a cartoon anvil to fall on my head. I was mortified as I stood there, surrounded by a sea of red cans, while a line of impatient shoppers formed behind me. I could feel their judgmental stares burning into the back of my head, and I was sure that I had just permanently ruined my reputation as a competent grocery shopper. But in hindsight, the image of me standing there surrounded by cans of tomatoes is actually pretty amusing. It's one of those moments that I can laugh about now, even though it was pretty embarrassing at the time. I mean, I guess I should be grateful that I didn't knock over the olive oil display or something. That would have been a real mess. Another classic moment of comedy of errors in my life occurred when I was trying to impress a girl by cooking her dinner. Now, I'm no Gordon Ramsay, but I can hold my own in the kitchen. Or at least, I thought I could. I decided to make this fancy pasta dish with a creamy tomato sauce, and I was feeling pretty confident as I started cooking. I was chopping and stirring and sautéing, thinking to myself, wow, I'm really killing it in the kitchen today. But then things started to go awry. I overcooked the pasta, and it turned into a mushy mess. And then I set the kitchen on fire while trying to toast some garlic bread. Yes, you heard that right, I set the kitchen on fire. I was trying to be all suave and sophisticated, and instead I ended up with flames shooting out of the toaster oven. It was like something out of a comedy sketch. So there I was, standing in the middle of my smoke-filled kitchen, surrounded by burnt garlic bread and overcooked pasta, wondering how everything had gone so wrong. And to top it all off, the girl I was trying to impress was sitting at the table, looking at me with a mixture of shock and amusement. It was a low moment, to say the least. But in hindsight, it's actually pretty funny. I mean, who hasn't had a kitchen disaster at some point? And at least I can say that I know how to handle a toaster oven fire. That's a valuable life skill, right? But the thing is, even though moments like these are embarrassing and frustrating, they're also what make life so amusing. We're all just stumbling through it, making mistakes and having a good laugh at ourselves along the way. And that's what makes life worth living, in my opinion. So next time you have a moment of comedy of errors, try to see the humor in it. It'll make the tough times a little easier to bear. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy can't even make pasta without setting the kitchen on fire. How is he going to talk about the deeper meaning of life? But bear with me, because I really do think there's something to be said about the concept of comedy of errors and how it relates to the human experience. Think about it. We're all just trying to navigate this crazy world, and no matter how hard we try, things are always going to go wrong. We're going to make mistakes, and we're going to have moments of embarrassment and frustration. But the key is to be able to laugh at ourselves and our mistakes. That's what makes life bearable and even enjoyable. Take, for example, the time I tried to fix my own plumbing. Now, I'm not exactly Bob the Builder, but I figured how hard could it be? I watched a few YouTube videos, and I thought I had a good handle on things. So I went to the hardware store, stocked up on supplies, and got to work. But of course, things didn't go as planned. I ended up flooding the bathroom, and I had to call a plumber to come and fix the mess I had made. It was a total disaster, and I was mortified. But in hindsight, it's actually pretty funny. I mean, who hasn't had a home repair gone wrong? It's just one of those things that happens when you're trying to be DIY savvy. So next time you have a moment of comedy of errors, try to see the humor in it. Embrace your inner clumsy, incompetent self, and just laugh it off. Because at the end of the day, we're all just a bunch of clumsy, incompetent humans trying to make it through life with a sense of humor. And isn't that what it's all about? So to summarize, the concept of comedy of errors is all about the moments in life when everything seems to go wrong, but we're able to laugh it off in the end. It's about embracing our inner clumsy, incompetent selves and seeing the humor in the mistakes we make. And isn't that what life is all about? Finding the humor in the tough times and being able to laugh at ourselves? I mean, think about it, we're all just stumbling through life, trying to make the best of it. And no matter how hard we try, things are always going to go wrong. We're going to have bad days, and we're going to make mistakes. But that's what makes life so amusing, the fact that we're all just winging it, and we're all in the same boat. Take, for example, the time I tried to put up a shelf. Now, I'm not exactly Mr. Handyman, but I figured how hard could it be? I watched a few YouTube videos, and I thought I had a good handle on things. So I went to the hardware store, stocked up on supplies, and got to work. But of course, things didn't go as planned. I ended up putting the shelf up crooked, and it kept falling down every time I tried to put something on it. It was a total disaster, and I was frustrated. But in hindsight, it's actually pretty funny. I mean, who hasn't had a home improvement project go wrong? It's just one of those things that happens when you're trying to be DIY savvy. So next time you have a moment of comedy of errors, try to see the humor in it. Embrace your inner klutz, and just laugh it off. Because at the end of the day, we're all just a bunch of clumsy, incompetent humans trying to make it through life with a sense of humor. And isn't that what it's all about? Please help our channel by pressing like, comment and subscribe. And press bell icon to not miss any new content.